everyone, welcome back to another CoasTour video here on the channel that no one's gonna watch because it's not a vlog. Where today is March, I haven't really put anything up since my top 10 of last year, and I wanted to start doing some trip planning. Early season, of course, we could always go down to Dollywood again. I mean, Pigeon Forge is like right in my backyard. That's basically a weekend trip, and even if I went last year, even if it's a pretty common place for me, number one, Kentucky Kingdom, my actual home park. Kings Island doesn't matter, so if we get that Hershon Pass, shaboom, 50% off, always a good deal. And number two, remember how Lightning Rod was closed last time? And how it's getting a nice little high-speed chain lift or whatever? Should probably check that out at some point. Of course, we do that. There's two good parks that I could tag on to that. Number one, Carowinds, once again. Kings Island, Cedar Fair. I mean, these are both Six Flags parks now. These are both going to be Six Flags parks. It's just a matter of if the Mega Pass goes through, which it really should. But you guys may remember my last trip to Carowinds was not the best. Got rained out. Open to close, I got on 3 whole rides because the park was completely packed. And most importantly, their big coaster, Fury 325, that everyone has world renowned as like a top roller coaster. Literally every time I got in line for that, that thing broke down. So I don't know about the best coaster in the world or whatever. Oh yeah, and I guess here's where I shout out Thunder Striker or whatever it's called now. I'm not too phased by it. I mean, I think it's a decent name, IMO. Like, I actually did get to run Thunder Road back in the day on my first visit, so nice little nod, even if they didn't fully name it Thunder Road, which they should have, but it's an okay name. They can do better, they could do worse, but I'm okay with Thunder Striker. And of course, I just said Six Flags also, the other option down there, the return to Six Flags over Georgia. I don't know how I feel about saying that after what happened as of last weekend when recording this. Thoughts and prayers. I don't know if anyone actually got injured or if it was just riots, but people are stupid. This kind of stuff does unfortunately happen from time to time. And while it is certainly discouraging to plan a trip for that area, like I said, it is human error. Things do happen. Either way, Six Flags Georgia Park is definitely worth revisiting. On the coaster side, it is only really 3 new credits for me, being Daredevil, the redone version of the Georgia Cyclone into freaking RMC, and I guess Little Flash. Maybe, depending on when I go, Georgia Surfer might be up, and that'll be pretty cool to check out a prototype roller coaster, but if not, not too impressed. Great lineup otherwise, like coasters, obviously they have the freaking best Goliath hyper coaster. I can't remember too much about that other than getting off that with crazy hair. Blue Hawk's been redone since last time I've been there, so now it's actually rideable. One of the best Supermans, and even outside the roller coasters, there's some very unique attractions such as Monster Mansion. Why is this caliber of dark ride at a Six Flags park? And debatably, one of the best drop rides that I've ever been on. Well, it's either that or the one at Busch Gardens Tampa. They're both pretty insane. So definitely looking forward to checking that out, especially because I ended up skipping it twice last year at both my Georgia visits. One because the times didn't line up, and one because I messed up and stayed at regionals too long. So anyways, I mentioned Dollywood. Let's talk about another Hershon park. You guys may remember during the pandemic when I was at my old dog job, I was briefly at Silver Dollar City. That was a very quick trip because of circumstances, both because I had to go back to work the next day and it's an 8-hour drive to get back there, and I actually drove. And number two, the original day that I had planned to go there, the park was actually closed despite everything that I had planned for, so I had to stay an extra day, and that kind of threw everything off. So I'd like to do a full day at Silver Dollar City. Of course, number one, gotta be Ride Time Traveler. That is one of my favorite roller coasters, which that video is gonna be coming out soon. And number two, Fire in the Hold. It's getting Fire in the Hold. Can't wait to check that out. RMC is godsend, even if there's literally just me tracking a family coaster. It's still RMC, we still count it. And there's plenty of stuff I didn't show off last time, such as the Marvel Cave and the water rides. So there's more than enough reason to go back to Silver Dollar City outside of the fact that they have one of my favorite roller coasters. Then, of course, if I do that, that's another Six Flags park I can go to. Honestly, this could possibly be an early season thing, since they are opening at the end of the month. I could just plan a weekend. I don't know if I'd drive down there again, just because it is an 8-hour drive to get up to Silver Dollar City, 5-ish for St. Louis, so I could make that work somehow. Or let me know, comment down below if there's any airports I know about for any of these big trips. If I can fly somewhere between St. Louis and the Branson area, then of course that makes things a lot easier than planning a long 3-day weekend just because I need to drive halfway across the country. Alright, now that we've talked about the more weekendable stuff, us going to some of the big trips. These are the more ambitious things that I'm planning. First of all, I might be nixing this one because this was an early thought before I really started planning, but I had originally thought this might be the year I go international. or at least slightly international. Like, I would love to do a Great Britain trip. Alton Towers has always been on my bucket list no matter what, and like Nemesis this year. But even without Nemesis, it's been absolutely bucket list park. Of course, you got stuff while you're in the area, like your Blackpools, other Merlin parks, Hyperia. We talk about Europe getting like one of the most insane coasters ever this year, and all the other goodness that's over there. A Europe trip would be awesome. I don't know how much of a Europe trip I could afford. Once again, anyone has any suggestions, drop them below. But I feel like even not this year, just at least an England trip would be safe. Because you could just stay in one central place around England, take public transport everywhere, and, you know, also get the British vibes. I could be a Whovian. But even if I don't do that, I was thinking just north of the border, which actually, being like on the border of Ohio, it's not too bad of a drive to get up to Canada's Wonderland. Once again, Cedar Fair Park absolutely has like such a big top 3, and then I don't know, it's a big enough park. There's enough stuff to do. I feel like I can make 2 days out of it. And while I'm up there, Niagara Falls, obviously, hit up Marineland, Dragon Mountain, super infamous aero coaster. And like, I want to ride all these old aero coasters before they go the way of the Vortex. Then another aero coaster at Darien Lake, which looks to be a decent looking park. They have a couple of really big rides and Moose on the Loose. But then thinking about New York, and thinking about that I'm also a Vanguard player, I had a thought. Team League was announced a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, or I don't know how time works. And there's one in Whitehall, which is another part of New York closer to NYC. And that means, of course, only one thing. The other one. I could finally go to the actual Coney Island. Oh my god. I mean, yes, this might not be the fanciest park in the world, but there's a lot of history towards it as an amusement park enthusiast. And even now is basically a testing ground for a company. So even if you strip away all the bells and whistles, even if you say that, oh no, they don't have super coaster like Fury 325 or this thing there, it's cool. It's a giant piece of history. I would love to make the infamous Cyclone landmark coaster, which I'm not anywhere close to 400, but I think I can at least go 350 if I make it the first leg of the trip. Then of course that means there's plenty of other stuff in the area. Mall of America, the American Dream Mall. Finally get to visit that place, which has been up there for a little bit. I need to just randomly go at any point in time, but once again, gotta get on a plane unless I want to drive like 8 hours. Six Flags Great Adventure. No Six Flags Park. Getting a cool new coaster this year. If I go when I'm planning to go, because I want to plan it around the Vanguard events, that will be at the end of May. I severely doubt the way that coasters get it set up that Flash will be ready by then, but if it is, awesome, fingers crossed. If it's not, I'll at least get you a construction update while I'm there. But that park, I need to revisit that park. It's been decades. I don't know, whenever I was in college. And there's a big coaster there. 2 big coasters there. First of all, gotta do King Ka because that was like the one ride I didn't ride when I was there last time. It was just, I don't know if it's closed down or it had a long line and I just didn't have time, but I need to get on the world's tallest roller coaster. Especially with Dragster 2 opening up sometime this year. And another Ohio Cedar Fair thing that I have to rant about. I love Cedar Point. 2 of my favorite coasters are at Cedar Points. I severely doubt I'll be able to get there this year just because with the Dragster hype, with all the enthusiasts flocking in, I'm sure that thing's going to have a 7-hour wait and thus make the park extremely packed the entire time. So, might be skipping Cedar Point this year. Knock on wood though, I'll have to wait to see some reviews. If the park looks like it's manageable, I'll do a weekend trip up there again. So, maybe look forward to that. And of course, if you're interested in seeing any of these made into a video, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. But where was I? Oh yeah, Great Adventure. El Toro. This infamous Intamin prefab wooden coaster that everybody's ranting and raving about. I did it once in that college trip forever ago, decade and a half ago, whenever I was there. And I honestly don't remember a thing about it. I'm sorry, community. I'm sorry if I lose my coaster credits completely for saying that, but long and short of it, I went on that ride. It was probably awesome. It was definitely good enough that I have shirts. And the next day I went to Knoebels. As soon as I got on Phoenix, I completely forgot, once again, wearing that El Toro shirt. I completely forgot everything about El Toro, so I need to go back and revisit it, apparently. I feel so bad. Aside from that, just great, huge coaster park. Jersey Devil, I went to Six Flags Magic Mountain a couple years ago, so it'd be great to ride another RMC single rail. My opinion on that one was kind of mixed, so I want to give it another try. And then more importantly, that does link me to what I was thinking about doing as a separate trip, but then I realized once again, New York area is pretty freaking close. And that is the Pennsylvania Trio, which a couple of you see me go to before. Hershey Park. Freaking awesome place. They've added Wildcats Revenge since then, which I'm a little mixed on because as a history fanboy, not a fan of them seeing the world's first GCI roller coaster. I still enjoyed my last few rides on it, but I'll acknowledge that it was going on this year's. And of course, who could complain about a really cool looking RMC? So that thing would be freaking awesome. Sky Rush! Can we talk about Sky Rush for a second? Spoilers, is definitely on my top 25 list that's coming out soon, but you guys know I love Sky Rush. I am on the side that actually doesn't mind Thigh Crush. And guess what? It's not going to be Thigh Crush anymore. They just announced last week, as of recording this, that they're getting brand new restraints on that thing. Hopefully the Thigh Crush is gone. Even if not, please, 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 go ride Sky Rush. That ride is amazing. It is one of the most forceful things I've ever ridden, and I can't wait to get back to it. Then, of course, park itself outside of this too. Fantastic lineup, always worth revisiting. And last time I was there, I did not get a chance to check out the Chocolatier. Not sure if I can get a reservation as a single person because I feel like that's a group sit-down restaurant. But if it is, I would love to check out the Chocolate Crazy Restaurant or whatever. Then Knoebels, do I need to say it? Do I need to say Phoenix again? Cool. That's there. That's like an hour from the park. And you know what? Last time I was there was during COVID. Half the coasters were closed down. I still need to get a couple credits there. So would gladly always revisit Knoebels for literally no reason. But if I'm in the area, that's the reason to visit. Could do that even if it's a half day. Guess what the last park is on the list? Another Cedar Fair park. It's also a half day park. Or at least it was last time I was there. So Dorney, often ignored because there's just so little to do there and it's such a small park. I think when I was there last time, Hydro was still relatively new. And I got through everything in about 2-3 hours. So that's saying something. But even if I don't spend a full day there, Iron Menace. They're getting a cool new B&M mini dive coaster that has a steampunk theme. That's the only reason I need to get back down there. Even if anything else is whatever. Can't wait for that. That is absolutely going to be the trip of the year. I feel like I'm probably going to fly out, get rental cars, just because once I start with everything, it's all central. I think each area is about a couple hours from each other, from New York to New Jersey to that portion of Pennsylvania. But just getting to that portion of Pennsylvania from my area, it's still relatively an 8-hour drive. Might just fly out to like Allentown and Whitehall or something like that. Once again, comment down below if you guys have flight recommendations, but I feel like that's the plan. And of course, that does involve Vanguard, like I said. I don't know how many card players will be listening to this video, so just a quick shout out. It is Team League. I currently only have a maximum of 2 for the team, so if anyone wants to join, hashtag looking for players or whatever. I really can't wait for that one. I'll do a separate video for Vanguard stuff, but long story short, beginning of a brand new format. Starts in Whitehall, and there's a deck that I'm very excited for that is going to be part of that. Definitely want to make it out to that. But of course, if I can, I want to do another one of those Bush Road Team League. I keep wanting to say BCF. That's not the right format. If I want to go to any of those other team leagues, my other 2 options are Duluth, which is Georgia, which is once again doing Six Flags Over Georgia, and Area Force 1. Please be open this time. I'm 0 for 2 on what was apparently one of the best new coasters last year, so fun spot. You owe me. Just saying. Then, of course, the other one being up in the Chicago area. Do I need to spell it out for Six Flags Great America? Once again, one of the better Six Flags parks. I'm not sure what else I can tie into the area, but it's one of the better Six Flags parks, and I haven't been since the last video I posted. So, all I'm saying is I still need to check out the new DC Land, and Max Force was closed during my last visit. So I think that's it for the main big trips. Of course, we could always do a bunch of day trips, and look at the sunlight. I love this lighting. I'm not changing it. I'm not closing the window. Holiday World I would like to get to this year just to check out Good Gravy. It's a park I check out every few years. I love that they're getting a new edition. It's really well themed, really well integrated into the area. Holiday World does a fantastic job with whatever they touch, and I have to go support them instead of Kings Island because their version... No. Kings Island Rant. No more Kings Island Rants. That's going to be its own video. I'll do my own video on Kings Island Rants, I swear. Sure, that's a little better. Where was I? And speaking of Indiana parks, Indiana Beach. Please, for the love of God, please just open dryer looping. It's another park that I go to every few years. I haven't gone in a while. I don't think since Gene bought the park out. Not to support them, just because I've been waiting on dryer looping to open. Knock on wood, we've seen testing videos, we've heard announcements. Hopefully this will be the year that we see the Classic Short Soft finally open. If it does huge, I've been on a couple of Classic Short Softs, mainly the Mindbender down at Six Flags Over Georgia is the biggest one I can think of, but this triple looping model with the intense drops and the high speed, everything. I need to check out one of these. And the fact that one is theoretically opening just a couple hours from me, absolutely. Then the park itself is pretty cool. Cornball Express, awesome wooden coaster. Lost Coasters, Superstition Mountain. Just the place being on the lake is a really cool setting. Plenty of other stuff to do, like the haunted house. Freaking Coney Island was an hour point to this. They got this. This is why I'm mad I haven't gone to the park in a while. They inherited the flying bobs from Coney Island Cincinnati's. I would love to be with one of my babies again, especially because like that is one of my favorite rides to operate. Just because the way that Coney used to operate, they actually rotated around between rides. So whoever worked flying bobs also worked on the roller coaster, and that was, of course, my main ride there. So, be good to be with my thing again. And go support Indiana Beach. I don't care what you say about them setting up rides slowly and everything. Like, it's a fantastic park, pretty affordable, and there's plenty of cool stuff to do. Fascination, I haven't mentioned that yet. I might be going to 2 different Fascination parlors, maybe 3. I think Doreen might have one. But that is the plan. Unless I think of anything else, I'll put another video. What do you guys think? If you got any comments, make sure to post them down below. If you want to help fund these trips, make sure you pick up some Raise energy drinks using code SkyRidge to save 15% online. I need to figure out a new sponsor because I don't know how you feel about it right now, considering how few sales I'm getting compared to TCG Player. Just a quick shout out. Once again, this is most coaster stuff. No one's going to be caring about the card game stuff, but these 5 sales I did last day probably pays for Indiana Beach on its own. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I guess that's only way to support me on this channel, just because I'm not cool enough to have a Patreon yet and or actual sponsors. So Raise energy if you want to give me some money so I can do these cool coaster trips, because they're going to be expensive. And if you like what I do here and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Also check out my new channel I started up a couple weeks ago. It's going to be where I post all my random stuff and streams, just like all the things aren't directly roller coaster and or card game related, just so we can keep the main theme going here on the channel. But until next time, I need to start figuring out hotels and stuff for these trips if I can go on them. So, always, just always, just always. I don't know, I'm getting ready for work. It's another way to help me afford these things, just making money at work.